Right now, there are 10 million unfilled jobs in the United States. We are in the midst of a growing labor shortage. Employers have gone from saying that they cannot find enough good workers to bemoaning they just cannot find any workers. And to make matters worse, we have witnessed mass resignations on a scale not seen before. Call it the big quit or the great resignation. More than 8 million people quit their jobs in August and September alone. While that's going on, we have a population looking for work that cannot find work. People with a disability, though I prefer the term differing ability, face an unemployment rate double the general population. And that only begins to tell the story. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, fewer than 1 in 5 people with a disability are employed. This situation is awful because so many people want to work and yet are denied employment. But I do not want you to focus on the tragedy of people denied the right to work. I want you to see that part of the solution to our labor crisis is right in front of us. It means hiring people with a differing ability. And what I want you to know is that hiring people with a differing ability is not altruism. It is good business. And those businesses that hire people with a different ability find themselves at a competitive advantage. And that advantage will only grow as the labor shortage worsens. So why is it good business to hire people with different abilities? Let me give you 4 basic reasons. 1, it enables employers to fill jobs that would otherwise remain vacant. 2, it improves productivity. 3, it improves retention, an increasingly important concern at the time of the big quit. And 4, it helps recruit new employees. Let me show you some examples. I'm going to start with the business I run. Together with my son, John, whom you will meet later, I lead a business called John's Crazy Socks. We have a social enterprise with a mission to spread happiness. As the name suggests, we sell socks, and we sell them online. Now, anyone who sells online has to fulfill orders. You pick them, pack them, and ship them out. Many outsource this function. We do our own fulfillment. We're located on Long Island, outside New York City, and the labor shortage here is severe. We hear from other businesses that they cannot find enough workers to keep up with demand. Newsday, Long Island's largest newspaper, ran an investigatory article on how employers couldn't find enough workers for the holiday seasons. But guess what? When we needed to add people, we had no trouble filling every job. In fact, we had a surplus of candidates. What was our magic formula? More than half our colleagues have a differing ability because we tap into that labor pool of people with differing abilities. And therefore, we have no trouble filling our openings. I want to be clear. Hiring people with differing abilities does not mean paying less than you would pay other workers. Our starting wage is $15 per hour. And it does not mean settling for less. In our warehouse, every one of our pickers, we call them sock wranglers, has passed a test to earn his or her job. That's part of the dignity we offer. Our colleagues know they earned their jobs. There's no charity. Every day they work hard and they produce. They help us fulfill our promise of same-day delivery. Okay, you say, that's nice, but what about other businesses? So I can tell you about Rising Tide Car Wash in Florida, or Ventures ATL in Georgia, or Spectrum Design here in New York. growing businesses that have no trouble filling every opening because they hire people with differing abilities. You say, but those are small businesses hiring unskilled or low-skilled workers. You want to know about big businesses hiring people with more advanced skills. Okay. Well, you may have heard of a software company based in Redmond, Washington. That happens to be called Microsoft. They are in fierce competition to hire programmers and other people with great technical skills. Well, as they compete for workers, they looked out and said, how come we're not hiring people with differing abilities, particularly people with autism, many of whom have a superior technical skill? Microsoft learned that the problem was many could not get past the traditional job interview. Maybe the candidate would not look you in the eye or avoided handshakes. Microsoft realized this was their problem, not the problem of the job seeker. So Microsoft changed their hiring process and now hires many people with differing abilities. That gives Microsoft a competitive advantage. That's good business. Let's consider another business that hires highly skilled employees, IBM. They also needed to hire more people with technical skills. They wanted to tap into the labor pool of people with differing abilities. So they started a neurodiversity program. Well, that initiative has worked so well that IBM now operates their neurodiversity program in 11 different countries. Yes, you can fill jobs all across the labor market by tapping into people with differing abilities. Let's talk productivity. At John's Crazy Socks, we saw a sudden surge in orders in late 2017, and we turned to temp agencies and general laborers to meet our hiring needs. It was a mistake, and we soon had a mess on our hands. When we expanded our hiring of people with differing abilities, we saw an immediate jump in productivity. Why? Because our new hires were reliable, they were focused, they wanted to be on the job. They came to the job with great enthusiasm and commitment. And that made everything better. We are not alone. Take the technology firm Ultranauts. They provide software and data quality engineering to technology firms. More than 3/4 of their employees have a differing ability. The majority have autism. Ultranauts has been a rousing success, growing at a pace of 50% a year. And when their work is benchmarked against other firms, they are documented to provide higher quality work. The organization Disability In has created the Neurodiversity at Work Roundtable. We used to be called the Autism at Work Roundtable. And it's made up of companies like Spectrum Design and ours, as well as large businesses like IBM, Microsoft, Warner Brothers, and Dell, that promote hiring people with autism and share best practices. JP Morgan came in to evaluate the performance of people hired through these initiatives. They found that the employees with autism worked 48% faster and were 92% more productive than neurotypical employees. So yes, hiring people with differing abilities means improving productivity. And then there's retention. As I told you, at John's Crazy Socks, we run a warehouse operation. Well, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, warehouses have among the top 4 turnover rates among all industries in the United States. Yet we have almost no turnover. People come and stay, while other firms in the field struggle to find workers and struggle to keep them. Because we hire people with differing abilities, we have a steady and stable workforce. Let's go to the other end of the hiring spectrum. Let's look at a large firm, EY. They used to be called Ernst & Young. They have 250,000 employees worldwide, and they experience a 20% annual turnover rate. Imagine that. To stay even, they need to hire 50,000 new people a year. But let's take a visit to their office in Dublin, Ireland, where they set up a program with Trinity College to hire people with autism. The results? Once they added with people with autism to their workforce, they saw their retention rates skyrocket. Why? Because the benefits of hiring people with differing abilities does not only accrue to those people with differing abilities. Everybody benefits. Morale is up, productivity is up, retention is up. And when morale is up, you have the fourth benefit of hiring people with differing abilities. You are better able to recruit new employees. You have a workplace with more energy, more vitality, more cohesiveness, and that makes your workplace more attractive to new workers. So who are these employees with differing abilities? Let me introduce you to Dylan Raphael, who was hired by IBM to do quality testing. Once hired, IBM dispatched him to a client work site. Dylan was hyper-focused on the testing process. He hated seeing people wasting their time. He saw ways that could improve the process, efficient paths that no one had seen before. Dylan began creating new tools, doing the quality testing that dramatically improved productivity. As a result, Dylan has been promoted multiple times, has earned patents and awards, all because he took a different point of view. And it all happened because IBM was willing to hire Dylan and other people with differing abilities. Let me tell you about Matthew Brennan, who was hired as a quality analyst at Comcast. Just like Dylan, Matthew started unearthing news stories the data was telling that nobody else saw. Within 2 years, he's received multiple promotions and earned an award as Employee of the Year. Do you think Comcast is glad they added Matthew Brennan? And now I want to introduce you to my partner and youngest son, John Cronin. John, you have Down syndrome, right?
I do.
And what do you say about Down syndrome?
I have Down syndrome. Down syndrome never hurt me back.
No, it does not. So John, let's share some of the story leading to your successful business. We'll go back to the beginning in the fall of 2016. And where were you?
I was in Huntington High School. I couldn't be my last year of school.
Right. And like everyone else, John was trying to figure out what would he do when he was done with school. And what were you looking at?
I look at job program in school. I don't like the object I don't like.
Unfortunately, that is the reality for so many people with a different ability. Like John, they may be ready, willing, and able to work, but there is not much available for them. But John here, you're a natural entrepreneur.
Yes, I am.
If you could not find a job, what do you say?
I said, I want to create one. I want to make one.
And what do you tell me?
I said, I want to go into business with my dad. A nice father-son business together.
And whose idea was it to sell socks?
This is my idea. I told a website look like. I came up with a name.
Of course you came up with the name. That's why it's named after you, right?
Right.
Right. So, and when did we open John's Crazy Socks?
We opened on Friday, December 9th, 2016.
Which makes us 5 years old. What are some of the things you do in the business?
I do videos, design socks, and I help picking orders and grabbing home deliveries.
You give tours,
and
speaking engagements. You do an awful lot. And so let's talk about some of what John has accomplished. We've created 31 jobs, and 22 of those are held by people with different abilities. And how many different socks do we have?
We have 3,500 different kinds of socks.
That makes John the owner of the world's largest sock store. And a few other notes. shipped over 360,000 packages to 88 different countries, and our Giving Back program has raised over $450,000 for our charity partners. And John here has testified twice before the U.S. Congress, spoken at the United Nations, and won the EY Entrepreneur of the Year. Pretty good, John.
I'm really happy.
All right. So let's bring this home to our basic premise. What business would not want Dylan, Matthew, and John in their employ? And there are thousands of people like them, just waiting for a chance, waiting for the chance to show what they can do, waiting to demonstrate how hiring people with differing abilities will lead to better productivity, better retention, better morale, and will help you recruit. So let's hire people with differing abilities. And when you go to hire, I want you to think of people like Dylan and Matthew and John. Think of Michael, Chelsea, Masoom, Diego, and so many other people who work with us and do a tremendous job. Yes, you should hire people with differing abilities. Don't do it simply because it makes you feel good, which it will. And don't do it because it is the right thing to do, which it is. Do it because it is good business. When hiring, focus on what people can do, not what they cannot do. In the end, do not be blinded by a person's limitations. Be awed by their possibilities.